Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you love Olive Garden soups, today's video is for you. We are making creamy Zuppa Toscana soup with gnocchi. So I'm actually combining two of my favorite soups from Olive Garden and creating one delicious soup. So here I'm showing you some of the ingredients I'm going to be using in today's recipe. You can find all of the recipe ingredients, the measurements, and instructions in my description where I have the full recipe. So I've already cooked up the Italian sausage and I have some of my other ingredients out here. We're going to start off with our potatoes, our onions, and our garlic. So get yourself a stock pot, something that you can put your soup in, something pretty big. And we're going to start off by cutting our onion and sauteing that with the garlic. Meanwhile, I'm going to peel my potatoes. I'm using about 3 to 4 small potatoes here, and you can use more if you'd like. I'm using a little bit less potatoes because the gnocchi is actually a pasta that is essentially like potatoes. It's made of potatoes. I call it like a potato pillow. So it's this kind of fluffy potato pasta. And because of that, I'm just going to use a little bit less potatoes, but using more potatoes is not going to hurt. They do create a very good taste to the soup. The potatoes and the gnocchi soak up a lot of the flavor into them and create just that real comforting kind of soup-like flavor you get from any soup that has potato in it. So this soup is great for a cold night or a cold day. It's also great if you want to do kind of like that restaurant at home. I actually think this soup tastes much better made at home. So I hardly ever go to Olive Garden anymore. I used to go to Olive Garden all of the time for their soup and salad. They used to have endless soup and salad, and you could also kind of trade out the soups. So I would always usually start with the Zuppa Toscana, which is my favorite. And then if I felt like I wanted another bowl, I would try the gnocchi soup. And the gnocchi soup and the Zuppa Toscana soup became my favorites. Comment down below what your favorite soup is at Olive Garden. I would love to know. So because those two were my favorite, I went ahead and combined them, and I think it's a great combination and it's really easy to do. So stay tuned with me for the full recipe so that you can see how it's done. So these potatoes, I'm just going to go ahead and peel them. I've already washed them and all of that, and I'm going to go ahead and dice them. I'm going to dice them into smaller pieces, and then I'm going to put them in when I put my chicken stock in to the soup. But for now, what I'm doing on the stove is cooking up my onions, and then I'm going to put in the garlic just for a little bit longer. You go ahead and just cook up your onions till they get soft. You want your onions to be like that soft, just good kind of taste to them. So let them cook nice and slow and really cook till they're actually really soft. It'll really make a difference for your soup. So as I'm peeling these potatoes, it's already starting to smell like Olive Garden or an Italian restaurant in here with the onions and the garlic. Onions and garlic always make it feel like it's made at home. So I love to start with that, and that is how this recipe is. So I'm also going to pair this soup with just some bread and butter. But if you would like to make this recipe feel like you're just at Olive Garden, if y'all have ever tried the garlic bread that comes like in the sticks, just like they do at Olive Garden, those to me taste better made at home than they do at Olive Garden. So go check your freezer section at your grocery store for the garlic bread section and look for the garlic bread sticks, the ones that look like the ones from Olive Garden, and try those. They taste so good. They really do taste way better than the ones at Olive Garden. So you can make it feel completely like you're at Olive Garden, and if you'd like, make a salad as well. So these potatoes are just your regular russet potatoes, but you could use whatever potatoes you have on hand. These are the ones I'm going to be using. They're hearty, they feel, comforting, and so that's what I'm going to be using in today's recipe. So for today's recipe, we're also going to be using kale, and kale is something that creates the color in the soup, also the flavor of the vegetable and all of that. I really like kale in it. If you do not have kale at your grocery store, you can use spinach. Or if for some reason you don't like kale, you can use spinach. But kale really doesn't have a very strong flavor, especially not in this soup. So it's not anything to fear if you're worried about an unusual taste or something like that. My grocery store did end up having kale. I live in a small town and the only grocery stores I have is Walmart and a very small H-E-B, but I hardly ever shop in the H-E-B. I mostly just shop in the Walmart, and I wasn't so sure if they would have kale because the last time I bought it out of town in Kroger's. So here is my onions. They've been cooking down in the pot. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in some minced garlic. I'm just using the already minced kind, and that works just fine. I'm going to let that cook a little bit till it gets a little bit fragrant. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in water. If you have chicken stock, use that. I do not have chicken stock today, but I've done this before and it works out just as fine. What I'm going to do is add in some water and create my own chicken stock with some chicken bouillon. So I'm adding in water here. I'm adding in a whole lot more. I just had to take a break to go get more water. But now I'm adding in the chicken bouillon, which is going to create the chicken broth. And I'm just mixing everything together. I really like the Knorr chicken broth bouillon. It has really good flavor. And I hardly have to add any other seasonings in anytime I use it. It's really, really good. So here are my potatoes. They are ready to go in. I'm also going to be adding in my Italian sausage and my seasonings. So for seasonings, I have salt, pepper. I have some crushed red pepper flakes and some Italian seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my sausage. This is Italian sausage I already cooked up the night before. And I use the mild flavor. I don't like too spicy, but the red pepper flakes will add a little bit of spice to the soup. If you do like spicy, you can add in a little bit more red pepper flakes to your taste. So next I'm going to add in my potatoes. And all of this is going to simmer together. All the flavors are going to come together here in this pot. You're going to go ahead and simmer this for 15 minutes or so, or until your potatoes get really soft. So those are all of the potatoes there. We're going to mix those together. You can really smell everything here in this kitchen now, and it's so nice and warm in here by the kitchen. So now I'm going to add in some pepper. You're going to do this to your taste. And if you find throughout this recipe you need more pepper or salt, go ahead and add that to your taste. I'm adding in a little bit of salt. My chicken bouillon already has salt in it. I'm adding some crushed red pepper flakes. I'm going to add in half a teaspoon. I don't like it too spicy for me, but this does create just enough spice that you do taste some spice. So if you're like me and you like mild, just go with half a teaspoon. Now I'm going to add in Italian seasonings. I'm also going to add in half a teaspoon of that. And that's about all you're going to need for your seasonings here. Just mix that all together. And that's all you're going to do for now. You're going to wait till this boils and you're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes until it gets cooked, until the potatoes themselves get cooked. So mine's beginning to simmer here. I'm going to wait till it gets to a boil and then I'm going to let it sit for a little while. This soup is pretty simple to make. It's not really hard. You just got to have all of the ingredients, which aren't too bad. So it is a soup that could be on rotation for a meal plan if you really do like it in the winter or whenever you prefer. So the other ingredients we're going to be using is potato gnocchi, heavy cream, and the kale. Now my pot is boiling and the potatoes are cooked now. So when the potatoes are all the way cooked, now you can add in the heavy cream. You can see that the heavy cream is cooling it down. You are going to want to lower your temperature to lower, and that way the potato stays creamy and smooth. I know it seems like there's like maybe a lot of oil or grease here, but all of it's going to get soaked up by the different ingredients and it's all going to come together. So don't get scared if you do see like the oils separating. Mix everything together like so. And then for our next step, we're going to add in the kale. For the kale, I'm adding in about 4 cups of kale. You can follow the recipe if you would like. If you like more kale, go ahead and add more. It's not going to hurt it any. The kale itself just cooks down just like spinach does. So it might look like a lot at first, but then it'll cook down and there won't be that much kale really in there. So if you just like a little bit of green, just follow the recipe. If you like a lot of kale, add some more. Here is the potato gnocchi. The potato gnocchi will soak up some of the liquid. So if you find that it really soaks up too much of your liquid, you can add in a little bit more water and then just taste it and make sure that it tastes right for you. So I'm breaking up the potato gnocchi in there and then I'm going to let it boil for about 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, the potato gnocchi will be cooked. The way that you know that it's cooked is it begins to kind of rise up to the top. And so when you put your spoon in, you'll get one right from the top, just like so. So my potato gnocchi is cooked, and at this point, the soup is ready. So this is what it looks like when it's all done. I'm about to have a bowl here of my potato gnocchi soup with the Zuppa Toscana, and it's going to be so delicious, y'all. If you like today's recipe or you tried it, let me know down below in the comment section, and I will catch you on our next video.